Okay, welcome back. Brett here at clickmill.co. In this video, I want to discuss the relationship between decisions and growth. And in one of the prior videos, and I don't remember which one it is, I gave away the game on this one, but the relationship between decisions and growth. Well, we know decisions now means to sacrifice and to cut off from. And we know that when we make a decision, we're choosing to allocate our resources. We also know that when we cut something, especially if it's in our own personal life, if your eye causes you to sin, if your arm, if you're, at whichever part you're chopping off, it's painful. And so there's suffering. But why do we do this? That sounds crazy on surface level. Hey, make decisions so you can sacrifice and you can suffer. And it's like, well, why would I do that? Because when you sacrifice and you suffer in the proper God honoring way, growth follows. And this is growth for you, and it's growth for the people around you in your ministry, in your business. My mentor, amazing man, godly man, and he runs a multi-million dollar marketing firm, and I get to go and listen to him and hang out while he's doing sales calls and just listen and learn what he does and how he speaks. And he's got clients that have been around for years and years and years, and they're on first name basis and they're asking him questions about the Bible. Well, so he's sacrificed and suffered to do good work for a long period of time. And they say, wow, this person's a person of character. He takes good care of the people around him. And he says he's a Christian. I'm interested. I want to know. So I have some questions for him. Okay, that's really cool. So on the back end, you see the growth. On the front end, you're putting the seeds in the ground, which is just toilsome and just difficult. And then you sit around for, who knows how long. There are some seeds that take years to come up, 20 years to come up. And you're sitting around and you're just like, man, I'm exhausted and I have nothing to show for it. And then all of a sudden, one day, you start to see the fruit. Another example of this is my great uncle planted a bunch of I want to say what kind of trees, some kind of like almond or some kind of trees that have nuts that you would buy at the store. Well, he planted them on some cheap piece of land when he was, in his 20s. And he just planted this giant field full of these trees, knowing it took decades for those trees to produce fruit. And so not only did he plant them, but in tending them himself and then having other people tend those trees as they aged, he's investing resources. And then at some point, those trees started producing their fruit, right? The whatever kind of nuts they were, almonds or, whatever they're. And when I met him, I mean, he was extraordinarily wealthy because, and think about this, because there are not enough trees of that sort in the market because people don't want to wait 20, 30 years to get the fruit. People want results now. And he was the only person that was willing to sacrifice that long and wait and invest resources. But what? He was able to sacrifice the resources sustainably long enough. And then he's one of a very few number of people that have this type of tree in that area. And he saw a tremendous amount of, in this case, obviously, financial growth. And so this goes to show that when you make decisions, you're cutting off other opportunities. He was cutting off the opportunity to go spend this money in any other way for decades. And he was and when he's making the decision to invest in this plot of land with these trees, he's allocating resources from other things into this. And is he suffering? Well, yeah, I'm sure it's not real fun, looking at trees that do nothing for you for decades. But then what happened? They started producing their fruit in their time, and we don't always know what the time is, especially if God doesn't tell us. And, this man's extraordinarily wealthy. He, you know, owned a very nice house. Which, side note, I broke my nose at his pool, so he wasn't real happy about that. But it's been rebuilt. but um, but you get growth uh, after you do the decision making and stay consistent in the good choices. Now, the one thing that we don't want to do, and even if you know all of these things about decisions, you can still make bad decisions, and you can still not even realize you're making, and we'll kind of classify decisions. You can make bad decisions, which is just, I think it's really great to, you know, smoke a pack a day. Oh, well, as it turns out, cigarettes are really bad for you. I didn't know. If you really don't know and you think cigarettes are good for you, you're like, I'm going to sacrifice the financial resources and I'm going to buy a pack a day and I'm going to smoke them all every day and it's good for my health. Well, we do that in ministry a lot. We make bad decisions based on information about the world that is not true. So the first thing is to stop making the bad choices. And that's what we're going to do as we go through the list of models for making decisions. And we have a lot of well-intentioned Christian business people, a lot of well-intentioned ministry leaders, and we're making choices that actually directly harm the ministry, even though we think it helps the ministry. So we're going to look at that. Now, the second thing is, if you can get out of that trap, the next trap is you have two good decisions. Which one's better? If you can only allocate your resources to one of two things, and we've talked about this already a little bit, put them in the better category. And this is how we create growth. We're investing in the long run into kingdom growth so that when you and we show up, we meet Jesus, we will have built upon the foundation that is Christ with gold, stone, and precious metals. And again, it has nothing to do with salvation. It just simply has to do with, God, how do I serve you to the very best of my ability out of gratitude for all of the things that you've done for me? How do I just, if I'm going to live for you, why don't I just do it really good? So I hope that is encouraging to you. And I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video in this course on decision making. God bless.